I've come to realize that in life, nothing truly meaningful or rewarding comes without stepping outside of your comfort zone. Taking risks isn't just an option, it's often a necessity. Playing it safe may seem secure, but it rarely leads to fulfillment or greatness. If you're not willing to take a chance, you may miss out on opportunities that could change your life. Growth always lives on the other side of fear. Nelson Mandela once said, "There is no passion to be found playing small." When you follow your passion, you're not just working or surviving. You're living with purpose. Your passion is your inner guide, pointing you toward the things that make you feel most alive. So don't ignore it. Let it lead you, even if the path feels uncertain. He meant that you can discover your true potential by staying confined within limits set by fear or doubt. There's an old IQ test involving 9 dots arranged in a square. Fail if you must, but don't fear failure. Fail big if you're going to fail, because that means you tried for something big. Dream big. 2, let your imagination stretch beyond your current circumstances. But here's something crucial to remember. The challenge was to connect all the dots using only 5 straight lines without lifting your pencil. The only solution was to go outside the box. Sometimes, to solve life's biggest challenges, you have to break conventional limits. Settling for less than what you can achieve is a disservice to yourself and your unique abilities. Why should I prepare to fall backwards? Why should I expect failure to the point that I build a cushion for it? If I fall, I want to fall forward. I want to fall in a direction where at least I can see where I'm going, learn from it, and pick myself back up with more clarity. Falling forward means progressive, and when things go wrong, you're still moving ahead. Life has so much more to offer when you pursue what excites you, even if it's uncertain. Playing small may feel safe, but it rarely leads to greatness. I know from experience, whether it's been in school, applying to college, or making those life-defining decisions like choosing a major or career path, that people always seem to give the same advice. Make sure you have a backup plan. They'll say, you need something to fall back on, just in case things don't work out. And at face value, that advice sounds reasonable, even caring. But to be honest, I never truly understood that concept. And most importantly, none of it matters without consistency. You can have talent, passion, and the boldness to take risks, but without showing up every day, without persistence and discipline, you won't finish. Success isn't a one-time event. It's the result of steady, consistent effort over time. That's the real secret. Fall forward and keep going. So, pursue what truly excites you. Do what sets your soul on fire. Take chances, even if they scare you. Fear of failure is natural, but it shouldn't stop you. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't let fear trap you in what's familiar or safe. Take bold steps. I've come to realize that in life, nothing truly meaningful or rewarding comes without stepping outside of your comfort zone. Taking risks isn't just an option, it's often a necessity. Playing it safe may seem secure, but it rarely leads to fulfillment or greatness. If you're not willing to take a chance, you may miss out on opportunities that could change your life. Growth always lives on the other side of fear. Nelson Mandela once said, "There is no passion to be found playing small." When you follow your passion, you're not just working or surviving, you're living with purpose. Fear of failure is natural, but it shouldn't stop you. There's an old IQ test involving 9 dots arranged in a square. The challenge was to connect all the dots using only 5 straight lines without lifting your pencil. The only solution was to go outside the box. The lesson: sometimes, to solve life's biggest challenges, you have to break conventional limits. Most people don't. We only remember the invention, the moment of brilliance, not the struggle it took to get there. Each failure teaches you something that success never could. It builds resilience, sharpens your skills, and prepares you for the moment when everything finally clicks. At some point, things won't go as planned. You might lose an opportunity. You might get rejected. You might fall flat in front of others. You may even doubt your own ability. And as hard as it sounds, it's all part of the process. You don't grow by avoiding failure. You grow by embracing it. You've got to be willing to take those risks. I asked for strength, for clarity, for direction. I stayed connected to something greater than myself, my faith. But faith alone wasn't enough. I had to combine it with action. Even while I prayed, I continued to face rejection. I failed repeatedly. One disappointment after another, it seemed endless. Everyone starts somewhere. I didn't let failure convince me to give up. And the reason I got there wasn't because I was luckier, was because I didn't walk away. I stayed ready. I kept trying. I believed, and most importantly, I refused to fall back. I chose to fall forward again and again until the door finally opened, because I understood something powerful. There is an old saying: if you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later, you're going to get a haircut. It means if you keep showing up, if you stay persistent, your time will come. Even if it doesn't happen immediately, it will happen. This is the truth that often gets overlooked, especially during moments like graduations, when we're encouraged to focus only on our bright future. But here's a more honest message. Prepare to fail and be proud of it when you do. I didn't allow that single failure to define me or make me doubt my entire journey. I didn't fall back into fields. Instead, I walked out of that audition room with my head held high and got right back to work. I started preparing myself for the next opportunity, and then the next, and then the next. You've probably heard people say that before, but let's take a moment to understand why it really matters. It was his 1,001st attempt that changed the world. That means he failed 1,000 times and still kept going. Now that is what it means to fall forward. Your passion is your inner guide, pointing you toward the things that make you feel most alive. Fail if you must, but don't fear failure. At the beginning of my own journey, I faced failure constantly. Auditions didn't go well. Roles slipped through my fingers. It felt like I was getting knocked down more than I was standing up. But I kept showing up, because each fall was a chance to rise stronger. And that's the spirit I want you to carry with you. Fall forward, always. Fail big. If you're going to fail, because that means you tried for something big. Dream big. 2, let your imagination stretch beyond your current circumstance. I walked into that room with confidence, thinking, this is it. The only problem, I couldn't sing. And unfortunately, in a musical, that's kind of a big deal. As you can imagine, I didn't get the part. That rejection would have crushed me, and honestly, it stung. But here's something crucial to remember. So don't ignore it. Let it lead you, even if the path feels uncertain. He meant that you go and discover your true potential by staying confined within limits set by fear or doubt. Make sure you have a backup plan. They'll say you need something to fall back on just in case things don't work out. And at face value, that advice sounds reasonable, even caring. They can feel exciting in your mind, but without a plan, they fade away. He struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in baseball history. But that's not what people talk about. What they remember are his home runs, his victories, his big moments. The point is, failure is part of the journey. It's not the end, it's often the beginning of something great. So always, always fall forward. Set clear goals to move your dreams into reality. Even the biggest dream is built on daily steps and discipline. You must have structure, milestones, and the willingness to take action, even when progress feels slow or invisible. Settling for less than what you can achieve is a disservice to yourself and your unique ability. Why should I prepare to fall backwards? Why should I expect failure? To the point that I build a cushion for it. If I fall, I want to fall forward. I want to fall in a direction where at least I can see where I'm going, learn from it, and pick myself back up with more clarity. Falling forward means progressive, and when things go wrong, you're still moving ahead. Life has so much more to offer when you pursue what excites you, even if it's uncertain. You can have talent, passion, and the boldness to take risks. But without showing up every day, without persistence and discipline, you won't finish. Success isn't a one-time event. It's the result of steady, consistent effort over time. That's the real secret. Fall forward and keep going. Playing small may feel safe, but it rarely leads to greatness. I know from experience, whether it's been in school, applying to college, or making those life-defining decisions like choosing a major or career path, that people always seem to give the same advice. But to be honest, I never truly understood that concept. And most importantly, none of it matters without consistency. So, pursue what truly excites you, what sets your soul on fire. Take chances, even if they scare you. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't let fear trap you in what's familiar or safe. Take bold steps. Dreams, goals, and the power of falling forward. Dreams without goals are just dreams. Look at Reggie Jackson, one of the greatest baseball players. Did you know that Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he finally succeeded in creating the light bulb? Every failed experiment, every misstep, and every mistake is not a defeat. It's simply one step closer to your goal. You will fail at something in your life. That's not a threat, it's just reality. You might feel embarrassed, uncomfortable, or even defeated. You might try something and completely suck at it, but that's okay. Especially in careers like acting or any creative or ambitious field, rejection is part of the daily grind. I once auditioned for a role in a Broadway musical, a part I truly believed was perfect for me. But here's the important part. I didn't let that no be the end of the road. I didn't quit. During that time, I didn't rely only on talent or hope. I prayed. I kept praying. But through it all, I kept going. And eventually it did. I caught a break. That long chain of failures finally led me to success. Last year, I had the incredible opportunity to perform in a Broadway play called Fences. It was a powerful role, a beautiful production, and a career milestone for me. But what made the experience even more meaningful was the location. The same building, the same stage, the same dream, except now, all those years later, I was no longer being rejected. I was the lead. I was finally standing where I had once fallen. That moment wasn't just about acting, it was about life coming full circle. It proved to me that failure doesn't mean you're finished. Sometimes it's just the beginning. The play was performed at the Court Theater, and that detail changed everything for me. Because that wasn't just any stage. Playing it safe may keep you from falling, but it also keeps you from flying. To achieve something you've never had before, you must be willing to do something you've never done. Growth lives in the unknown. The end is near, and everything becomes quiet, except you're not alone. Surrounding your bed are the ghosts of your unfulfilled potential. These are the voices of the dreams you ignored, the talents you never explored, the ideas you kept buried deep inside. They are staring at you, not with kindness, but with frustration. Success is found in the courage to stretch beyond your limits. Because they came into your life for a reason. They were meant to live through you. What a tragic thought to carry all that potential with you into the next life, never having given it a chance in this one. Will you let fear stop you? Or will you fall forward and bring your purpose to life? That's why what you choose to do today matters. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. The book you never wrote, the business you never started, the invention you didn't build, the passion you silenced, all of it had purpose. They say to you, we came to you because you were the only one who could bring us to life. How many unused ideas? How many wasted talents? How many abandoned dreams will follow you to the end, never having been lived? This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up. Your time is limited, and what you do with it will echo long after you're gone. It was the same theater where 30 years earlier, I had completely failed my very first audition. That's the lesson I want to pass on to you today. Every single graduate sitting here has the training, the education, and the raw talent to go out into the world and achieve something great. Playing it safe might feel smart, but it holds you back from true growth, because in the end, it's not the failures people remember, it's how you rise from them. And sometimes, years later, you'll find yourself walking back into the very place where you once fell only. This time, you'll be walking in victory. If you only do what you're sure you can succeed at, you'll never know what you're really capable of. Taking risks, aiming high, and being willing to fall. That's how progress is made. That's how dreams become real. You've studied, you've practiced, and you've earned your place in the race. But the real question isn't about your skill sets, about your courage. Do you have the guts to fail? Because if you don't fail, it means you're not trying hard enough. So don't be afraid of failure. Embrace it. Let it teach you, guide you, and shape you. I'll say it again, because it matters more than most people realize. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. The ghosts of unlived potential. Now imagine this. One day, you're lying on your deathbed. These ghosts are angry. They're disappointed. They're heartbroken. And now, because you didn't act, because you let fear or doubt stop you, they say, we have to go to the grave with you. So I ask you now, not just as graduates, but as dreamers, doers, and creators, what will you do with the time you've been given? So I ask you again, when your time comes, how many ghosts will be standing around your bed? A world in need of your gifts. I recently returned from South Africa, breathtakingly beautiful country filled with rich culture, vibrant people, and astonishing landscapes. But beneath its beauty, I witnessed places stricken with deep poverty, where communities are struggling and crying out for help. And South Africa is just one part of the picture. The challenges facing this world are vast and widespread. The Middle East needs your compassion, your energy, and your idea. Whether it's volunteering in your community, starting something new, helping the planet, or simply being content, all matters. Don't wait. Step forward now, because the world doesn't just want your help, it needs it. Japan, a country of innovation and resilience, still needs healing hands and helping heart. Your talent, your time, your energy, they were entrusted to you to be used, not buried, not hidden, used. So ask yourself, how will I use what I've been given to make the world better, even in the smallest way? That's your real task, not just to succeed, but to leave something meaningful behind. We need your strength, your voice, your boldness. I'm not just speaking on behalf of myself or the others standing up here. Sometimes failure is the best way to figure out where you're supposed to be going. It may not feel good at the time. It may feel like the end. But more often than not, it's simply redirecting you towards something greater, something more aligned with your purpose. I'm not talking about how much you have not in terms of money, fame, or possessions. I started my journey at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called cardiac morphogenesis. And believe me, I couldn't read the textbook. I couldn't pronounce the course name. And I definitely couldn't pass it. That failure was painful, but it pointed me in a new direction. And that new direction led me here. I'm talking about your unique abilities, your personality, and your passions. Some of you are business majors, ready to shape industries and manage the future. Others among you are theologians, nurses, sociologists, each carrying a different set of skills and callings. But beyond your degrees, it's your inner gifts that matter most. I can feel the years catching up with me. I'm getting a little grayer, a little older. But you are the future. You have the power, the energy, and the drive to do what we no longer can. And it's not just overseas, even here at home, in places like Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, in Philadelphia. There are people in need, hunger, inequality, injustice. They are everywhere. The world is hurting, and the world needs you. We need your generation. So get out there. Don't hold back. Give the world everything you've got, your time, your talent, your prayers, your ideas, and your heart. What are you going to do with what you have? Some of you may have financial resources. Others may have patience, the kind that brings peace to chaos. Some of you have compassion, kindness, and the rare ability to truly live. Some of you have love that you give freely. And some of you may possess the gift of long-suffering, the strength to endure and keep going no matter how hard life gets. Whatever your gift may be, the real question is, what will you do with it? You weren't given these things by accident. The unforeseen paths of failure. And now, let me leave you with one last point about failure, something we often try to avoid but should actually learn to embrace. Your life will not follow a straight line. It'll twist, turn, and throw you off course. So, after realizing medicine wasn't for me, I decided to try something else. I moved into but that didn't quite fit either. Then I shifted toward journalism, hoping maybe that would be the path. At that point, the university, most politely and respectfully possible, suggested that I consider taking some time off. I remember the exact date, March 27th, 1975. That day, I was helping my mother at a beauty shop in Mount Vernon. She had worked hard to build that place, and I was there just doing what I could to help. It felt like an ordinary day, but what followed was anything but ordinary. In other words, they were asking me to leave. In that moment, I was stunned. I didn't know how to respond. Me, a 20-year-old with no direction, failing out of school, barely hanging on, and here she was telling me I was destined for something greater. They saw the movie, the story, the emotion, the message, but not the man behind it. And in many ways, I couldn't see them either. But still, we were connected, open to new ideas, new perspectives, and new experiences that may challenge what you think you know. When you allow yourself to truly listen, to truly connect, you begin to grow in ways no classroom or job ever could. It can be faith in yourself, in your purpose, in something greater than your current struggle. Instead, give this life everything you've got. Fall forward into the lesson, into the growth, into the next opportunity. Because falling forward means you're still moving ahead. You're still in a fight. You're still becoming everything you were meant to be. Pour your heart into your work, your relationships, and your dreams. Because you only get one shot hand. It's yours to fully embrace. That faith, that belief, is what's going to define who you are in the long run. It's what will carry you through the uncertain, the painful, and the seemingly impossible. Openness is a strength that leads to wisdom. Something passed between us, and I believe that prophecy, that purpose, was fulfilled through that connection. Something global, something spiritual. I didn't know how or when or even why, but I remembered those words. I'm strengthened by your passion, your vision, and your boldness. Because taking risks isn't just about chasing careers or landing jobs. It's deeper than that. It's about understanding what you do, know, and having the humility to recognize what you don't. I was just 20 years old, and I was at the lowest point of my life. I have indeed traveled the world. I have spoken to millions, not from a pulpit, not through lectures, but through something else. My films, the people you meet along the war, mentors, friends, even strangers, they will influence your journey in unexpected ways. The people you choose to love, to care for, to trust, they will leave lasting marks on your soul. My work as an actor has allowed me to connect with people across continents, cultures, and languages, and many of those people didn't even know my name. Confused, disappointed, and unsure of what was next. It felt like I had hit rock bottom with no clear way out. But the truth is, I didn't have a clear direction. I was chasing ideas, not purpose. I had no academic focus. And because of that, my grades started to fall. And not just slightly, they completely collapsed. I didn't know her personally, but everyone respected her. As I was going about my business, I caught her reflection in the mirror. Every time I looked up, I noticed she was staring at me. Not just glancing, staring intently. I kept catching her eyes on me. And every time I looked away and then back, there she was again, just watching. My GPA dropped all the way to a 1.8. Then something happened, something small on the surface, but huge in meaning. There was an older woman in the shop, one of the elders in our town. She didn't say anything at first, but her presence was powerful. There was something in her gazer. There was something in her gazer. It wasn't judgmental or angry, but it meant something. And even before she spoke, I could tell she saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself at the time. Eventually, that woman, the one who had been silently staring at me from behind the dryer, took the hood off her head. She looked straight at me with an intensity that made time pause. And then she spoke words that I will never forget for as long as I live. She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy," she said. "You are going to travel the world. You are going to speak to millions of people." And over the years that followed, just as that woman had predicted, her words started to unfold into reality. They couldn't see me. They only saw the character I played. Now, when I look at you, the youth of today, I see something powerful. I'm encouraged by your potential. It is not just about taking big leaps or chasing dreams with bold ambition. It's also about being open to people, the chances you take in life, the paths you dare to walk, and the opportunities you're brave enough to accept. They will shape you. And then there's faith, the quiet strength within you. It doesn't have to be religious. So never be discouraged. Don't let setbacks or failures convince you that you're not enough. Don't hold anything back out of fear. And finally, when you stumble in, you will remember this. Fall forward. Don't fall back into fear or regret.